Customer Service Directory. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer are inspiring you to get your business right. They know the customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hey, welcome back to the Experience Pros radio show. Thanks for tuning in. Angel is out and about today, which means you've got me and I need you. This is the home of positive business talk. We help you get your business right by reminding you that small business is big business and your business really is our business. And wow, what a great day. Now, earlier in the program, I put it out there that I'm looking for your help. And so if you have a preference, whether you're watching by way of Facebook Live or by way of, if you would pick up the phone and call into the program, 303-632-4160, I need some counsel on navigation tools, apps for your smartphone. I have I have two apps on my phone. I've got one called Waze, Waze, and lots of people love that one. It is. There's a lot going on in the Waze app. It tells you where there's slowdowns. It gives you traffic updates to the second. It gives you hazards where there's closures, or even if there's like a car pulled over to the side of the road with its flashers on it, it'll let you know about all that. Even tells you where the police are. I don't know why anybody would want to know, but there you go. And then there is the other one, the big dog. Maybe it's the big dog, I don't know anymore, is the Google Maps. Now, I have both of these navigation systems, and I've been trying them out here recently. I was using Waze a long time ago, and I decided not to use it anymore because, first of all, I think there's so much going on in the app, it becomes very distracting, and it could be, it could lead to a problem, right? With you having to look too much at the screen, trying to figure out what all the icons are and all that. Second thing is I tried Google Maps, and it worked great for about a half an hour over the weekend. And then all of a sudden it went wonky. Google Maps went cray. It started telling me turn left on a one-way major street. We're talking Broadway, downtown Denver. Turn left, go north on a one-way southbound street. And it has not recovered from its illness. I don't know what happened. If you know what happened to the Google Maps app, I would love to hear from you. The number again, 303-632-4160, or comment below and let me know. Am I the only one? Maybe it's my phone. I don't know. I've got an iPhone 6 Plus. Maybe it's too old to handle the new technology. I don't know. But I'm telling you, Google Maps went crazy, and I don't know how to handle that. Next, want to talk a little bit about compensation. Now, this is the taboo. This is the don't talk about that. Because when we talk about compensation, how much do you want is probably not a question that is welcomed to the negotiation table. Well, how much does it pay? Well, how much do you want? No. It doesn't go like that. It usually goes something like, well, how much do you pay? And the answer is as little as possible. So how do you determine compensation? And, there's some base problem situations. There's some bonus structures, and so on. But if you're an employer or an employee, or you're self-employed, how much should you be worth? How much is your time worth? And Heather Human, who is a contributor for entrepreneur.com, wrote an article that addresses this issue. And she says employers put a lot of thought into their compensation packages. However, no matter how generous they think they're being, the talent they hire often informs them of just how competitive they really are. How many times have you heard, they've got benefits over there. You may be paying a higherly wage, but they got benefits over there. And when it works out, in fact, I've got a dear friend in the auto body business who is right here with this. He does not offer benefits, but he hires people at a very competitive wage. I mean, like beyond what they're making elsewhere, enough such to the point, plus the ability to have overtime, enough to the point where they can self-insure. They can cover their expense to cover insurance. And I've seen probably over the years, dozens of employees go to another place where they're paying far less in order for the benefits package to take place because it's already built in. So compensation is more than just money, right? It's much more than just dollars and cents. So here are 4 things that we can look to consider when determining compensation. Number 1, look beyond performance. When it comes to determining salary, employees look at more than just job performance. And knowing this, most companies, in fact, are now ditching annual reviews and instead using more continuous performance-oriented dialogue and feedback. These frequent check-ins give management more real-time visibility of employee performance, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. So think about this. I'm kind of a big fan of annual reviews or biannual reviews. I like the 6-month versus the 1-year reviews. But they're saying instead of doing that, have continuous performance-oriented dialogue. I used to work for a gentleman who every week we would come into his office, close the door, and we would go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he would ask me first, how did I feel about the way the week went? And then he would give me his assessment of how he felt my week went. So keep in mind that while we're talking about compensation, it's more than just important, the performance. It is about everything that they bring to the table. All right. Let's go to, number 2, know what competitors pay. It is an important thing to know what your competitors are paying, because if you want a serious seat at the marketplace, then my goodness, you've got to be competitive in your compensation. Even if the company's pay is competitive, it will have trouble attracting and retaining talent if competitors are willing either to pay more or compensate with other perks. You know, I was talking to a gentleman this morning who we had a conversation about Starbucks, and I was actually approached by Starbucks to become one of 7 people in the organization. There were 6 corporate trainers, and they approached me. This goes back many years ago, probably 7, 8 years ago now, but they approached me to become the 7th trainer and they were going to carve out a region in the U.S. to be one of those trainers. And in the end, I did not take the position, not because I didn't like the idea of training. I loved the idea of training. They asked me for a reason. I'm pretty good at it. I think, but the compensation package wasn't great. And they had good stuff going. You could get a car. You could have an expense account. You could do a lot of things. There'd be travel, but not excessive amounts of travel. But the base pay was nowhere near the role that it should be for one of 7 people in an organization as large as Starbucks. So I turned it down. But you need to know what the competitors are paying. You need to know that you're in the same ballpark before you decide to make your offer. Number 3, offer other forms of compensation. We've been talking about this. Compensation comes in lots of flavors. It's not just salary. There's a 401k. There's medical and dental and equity that all could come to the table. All of those are great things, but they're really table stakes, right? What about time off? What about telecommuting? What about other vacation time? That's kind of time off. You can develop a program that is custom to your work base, and that might be helpful. And then finally, help employees set goals. Employees thrive when they earn recognition for their work. So you want to remember, one of the things more valuable than money to an employee is a pat on the back or an attaboy, especially when it's done in public. So keep all of that in mind as you consider compensation. And a final spin on this: what if it's you that you're seeking to compensate? What if it's you who are trying to figure out how much should I pay myself, or how much should I earn when I charge people to do their service? Well, Go back to it. Look beyond performance. What else are you doing for them? Go back to the, knowing what the competition pays. If you are priced way out of your market for what you do, you probably have a reason for it. But if you don't explain it, they're not going to understand it. It goes on. What are the other forms of compensation? Is it valuable to you to take 2 weeks off, maybe a month off all at once? There's lots of ways to be compensated. And finally, set goals and follow through. We'll be back with more positive business talk right after these messages. Thanks for tuning in.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show.